Alright, so I'm not really sure what the title will be for this one, but the basis of it is going to be we have to start understanding that racism is it will never end. It is a permanent mentality, okay? And once we start understanding that, I think it automatically would change up the way that we move because when you're dealing with a certain mentality, especially if it's permanent and it's innate, it's just something natural that people just they're one born with it, but also some are conditioned to that state, and we have to understand that is we are going to be hard pressed in trying to change that about people. I understand we got some people that if you feel that's your lane to try to mend certain things, so on and so forth, if that's where your focus is before it's on us, I know it's a few people that's like that, and that's just you. Good luck, cause it's already going to be hard for black people, for us to mend our wounds that we have with each other. So we can't be caught by surprise when racist folks are being racist. Like, and we can't think that mentality is ever going to change. You will be a fool to think that. So we have to start adapting that mentality, and along with adapting that mentality, I'm gonna go ahead and tie this into it. With it, we have to teach. We have to be real with our kids from jump, because we are doing a huge disservice to them, raising them up in this crooked society, this oppressive, systematic society that is set up against them, and we're not preparing them from youth to know how to navigate through that as they're coming up. We are doing a huge disservice to them as kids, because I can tell you, these kids, they just oblivious to a lot of stuff, but I can't blame them for it, because how many kids you really think are going to look at the world in a certain lens that many of us adults don't even know how to. So we as adults, parents, but also if we can adopt that village mentality, we have to start being real with our kids about this society, about this world that we live in, how evil it is. That way, I really think, not only would they be prepared for certain things, but I think it'll bring more camaraderie within the black community. It'll bring more unity, because we would start seeing, like, say, look, man, yeah, it may be, a few good individuals from each race, but really, if we looking at it as a whole, we are literally all we have. We can only depend on each other. We can't depend on another race to try to look out for our race when we're not looking out for our own. Like, even if we were looking out for our own, we can't have a certain type of hope, or whatever the case is, this whole love is love type thing, and love will prevail. People been saying love will prevail for a long time, and I don't want to go too far into it to start offending anybody, because I'm trying my best to change up my approach with certain things. That way it could be more received with what I'm saying. But we've operated with a certain mentality for a long period of time, and we still in the same position, maybe even worse. So we have to change that and understand that this system is racist. It will always be racist. It always has been racist. I would think we would understand that and move accordingly, but we're not doing that. So we got to start understanding that as adults, but also understanding the importance of teaching your kids those same things. Now, I know a lot of people, whether that's a different race or whether that's people of our own, would think, oh, you teaching hate. It's not about teaching hate. A lot of times the people that have done certain things throughout history, their racism has been tied to hate. And then when we start teaching a sense of pride or whatever the case is, they equate it to hate because they think we're going to react to what they've done, so on and so forth. It's a guilty conscience, whether we react to it or not. That's neither here nor there. That's a conversation you have privately. But I look at it, you've been engraved in hate. You can't tell me how to react to what you have been, the way you've been operating with my people, so on and so forth. You can't tell me how to react to any of it. So when people come with those talking points, you just got to ignore it and understand it's to derail what you're doing. It's to make you look like the bad person, which this media does a great job of. It makes us look like the bad people. All that to say, it has nothing to do with raising your kids with hate. It has everything to do with raising your kids with pride and raising your kids with enough sense to know if hate is in front of you, you better know how to react to it. You better know how to move. Don't be, don't do nothing stupid, but at the same time, don't be under the false impression that love gonna prevail, because people be praying in the middle of, something just terrible happening to them, and they praying in the middle of it, but it's still happening. Rather that, I don't want to get into specifics, but people praying at the time of bad things happening to them, and those bad things still manage to happen. Do you think your love in that moment is going to change this person's hate? We got to start moving a lot smarter.